that you are talking about, which province are they coming from, and which projects are we talking about? I hear you talking about 2019. I know we have been paying. Yes, there were challenges in the previous financial year where our payments were a bit slow, but we are definitely paying. We just need to interrogate and understand what is the problem with the 2019 payment that is not yet been done. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With regard to question 2, I think it's not escaping the question and avoiding the question, Madam Chair. Shall we ask Lamentia then to perhaps post the detail, if you don't have her detail already, on the chat, so that we can be able to get the detail and the direct follow-through on the matter as per your request. Okay? You are allowed to come up with a follow-up question, given that we do have a little bit of space. I'm going to take the next round of questions, and again, we're going to start with the online. And colleagues, please assist to see if we get any further hands coming out. How many people do we have online now? In total? We had 67 at a stage. How many are there now? Still 67? 57. Okay. It's not a huge attrition rate. We can do with this. I see one hand. Whose hand is that? Okay, let's just say the hand that is there. Please introduce yourself and then let's get the question.
Good day. My name is
Khalaletsang.
Representing an NGO in the Free State. I basically have 2 questions. I had typed them out, but I will just read it out. Regarding the career sector guidance interventions, there was an indication that the 6 were deferred to the year 2022. How will they be executed at the provincial level? Because my concern is on clarity. Is it 6 based on each province, or exactly how is that going to happen? And understanding that our beneficiaries are in rural areas, therefore I know that virtually is there room to support other skills? Thank you.
Okay, under normal circumstances I would have said strictly 1, but Khalaletsang, his voice alone just makes it impossible for me to do that. So we will take both questions, Ms. Mpie. Is there any other hand? Before you come up, can I check whether there's another hand in here? Going, gone. Okay. Mpie?
Thank you, Halaletsang. The career guidance that we are going to have is going to be a virtual one. However, we are partnering with other CETAs and Department of Higher Education. We're trying to get, I don't know how to say this, but I think it's state-of-the-art connection that will be able to accommodate learners that are coming from rural areas. So the MICT CETA is responsible for this. And I think it happened again at some point last year where they were just checking if it will work. So now we are doing a full-blown one, and I'm confident that we'll be able to connect with all learners throughout the country through the model that the MIC CETA is working on that will assist with connection. With the cooperatives, unfortunately for the next financial year, as Mr. Mota was presenting, we have focus areas that we have on our APP, and we have just chosen 2 for this particular financial year, and we will continue to come up with maybe other interventions that will assist our sectors. And if you can just, I think now that you are here and we have your contact details, as we're having any roundtable or workshops, you will be invited, so that when we discuss issues that are going to be implemented in the next financial year, you would be able to voice out what you think needs to be covered. Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. I can assure you that state of the art has no reference to today's presentation. It has no relationship whatsoever. It is just going to be state of the art next time. Thank you, Mempie. I don't see another hand. I can, however, see one hand in this room from the Secretariat. Do you want to take us through also to the chat box questions?
Yes,
Maybe?
thank you, Chairperson. We have a question from Kosavela, who's attending the AGM for the first time and asking if the CETA has funding available for sport, coach training and development, and also requiring clarity on what funding sport can apply for. And we also have a question from Busi Chuma, who is saying that why does it take long for the certificates to be issued? Thank you, Chairperson.
This must be termed CATHSSETA. I think it's a learning program, CETA. It's not the CATHSSETA. Mempia?
I think I must not move around. The funding for sports coaching, yes. When we advertise, we're going to be advertising. I think there is a response on the chat. Do not have the exact days, but we are advertising between now and month end. Communication will be out through newspapers on our website. Just be on the lookout. And we have two types of grants that we are dispersing, which is the discretionary grants, the pivotal programs, where we will be specific on what we need as a CETA. And we have special projects where we are saying to our industry, tell us what you need. And if your need indeed is the sports coaching, I'm going to request you or encourage you to apply for that when we advertise for the special projects. And for Busi, she says, why does it take long for CATHSSETA to certificate? We have two types of certifications that we are doing as CATHSSETA. As we may all know that, CATHSSETA has moved from manual base of doing things. We have moved to an ERP system that certificates. We have been having a challenge with our previous or legacy learners that have been on the system. I think even the chairperson, when he spoke last year in the meeting, people were complaining about our new system. So we're having a challenge because it's either we don't have documentation of learners that are supposed to be on the system, one, or we have training providers as well who trained learners and they have not loaded those learners on the system. And as a CETA, as a quality authority within the skills development that is aligned to our subsectors, we requested, or we are supposed to make sure that there's quality. We're requesting employers to give us ID copies, certified ID copies before we certificate learners. I think the challenge is on the legacy learners. We don't have issues with learners that were registered last year and this year. The legacy learners, where they're coming from we've got some that are coming from 2003, where some qualifications are even deregistered, we're not able to assist our stakeholders. But as and when there is an issue, we do have meetings with our system providers, which is DEJO, to assist our providers to do a back end so that we can be able to certificate. So I'm not sure if you have already spoken to our ETQA manager, Ms. Dimpo Pungwayo. If you have not, I'm going to encourage you or request that you, give us your numbers so that we can set up a meeting with you and we'll be able to assist you. We do, acknowledge that there is a challenge with legacy certification and we are working on it. We're thinking that with the system that we have going forward, we'll be able to certificate people in time, and also as just an operational means to make sure that we are certificating quickly. We have increased the capacity in that space to make sure that more than 2 people are certificating. We have more than about 4 people certificating, including the manager herself, so that we can push the backlog. Thank you.
I had said that we only take 2 rounds of questions. I can see there's one more hand. I will make that the last hand and I will put it as the second round, so there is no third round. This hand belongs in the last round, so there were only 2 rounds. And who is it? Please introduce yourself and then let's get the question and ask Mem Pierre to come back and answer. Kidding. Okay, thank you. Could you unmute perhaps? There we go.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think maybe it's from Bongani Walter, who is asking if there are any learnership programs for 2022.
Are there any learnership programs for 2022? Ma'am Pierre? She doesn't want to come back. She said, yes, there are. Please come say it yourself.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, there are learnerships for 2022. So as a CETA, we are supporting our communities with programs, and those programs include learnerships, bursaries for both employed and unemployed, skills programs for both employed and unemployed, artisanships where we don't have space there because as a CETA, we have taken a model of contracting for 3 years. So in the next year, we'll not be taking new learners. And I'm not sure what am I forgetting, but we have 5 interventions, which is bursaries, learnership, skills programs, artisanships. Those are there, and you can apply when we advertise. So we're going to be advertising on our national newspapers. It will be on the website. We normally advertise for about 30 days or more. So we're anticipating to advertise end of November, closing on the 15th of January. So that will give you ample time to, apply. Thank you.
Still don't go. Only because my sister's name is Busi, will I allow Busi the chance to ask the last question. Busi, please unmute and let's hear your question.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Busi. I'm from Open Info Business Enterprises. I did ask a question about the delays on certifications. We followed all the processes and everything was done on time. We captured everything. But now it's been like almost 4 months. And every time I call CATHSSETA to follow up and they tell me, no, I have to wait for the certificate. I will be printed. How long exactly does it take once we've done everything, the capturing has been done? How long does it take for you guys to issue us the certificates?
I've done everything Busi says. It's taken 4 months and I still don't have an answer. So how long does it take? That's a difficult one. But let's agree as follows. After this answer, if there is a problem, get to send a message also to the Secretariat and copy the chairperson and the CEO so that we can follow up on this question on your behalf as well, Busi. Only because you are my sister as well.
Busi, I have been advised that everything has been done indeed, we agree. It's just that for security purposes as CATHSSETA, we don't print certificates in-house. But if you need, urgently need certificate, we have another option. Whilst we're waiting for our provider to give us the certificates, the legal certificate, we can give you the CATHSSETA one where the CEO signs. As soon as we get them from the printers, we'll be able to send you the correct ones. But we do agree that you have done everything that needs to be done, and we also agree that it's just a matter of time that you will receive your certificates after we receive them from our provider. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Chair. I think that has provided sufficient answer. And in the event you don't get the interim certificate and the satisfaction with that, then you can take the course that was raised earlier, Busi. At this stage, I would like to maybe just make 1 or 2 closing comments and then hand over to the program director. I wanted to raise the following points. that the current accounting authority has about what, 20 months on the job, and over the last few months, it has been a very hectic moment for the team. And as Mr. Mota has indicated, we had a program plan in place. The first was at an attempt at understanding fully what we call the mischief. So what exactly are we getting ourselves into? What are the challenges? What are the problems? What is expected of us? And where do we even begin to start with them? We think the first 12 months really were about us trying to find our ground and settle in the field and get to understand the complexities of the issues. And we want to believe that at this stage we are fairly on the cusp of understanding fully and understanding and grasping fully what it is that is going on in the CETA and the sector. The issues that we've raised about the investigations, the studies that are being conducted, the issues that we've raised about the revisions of the strategic direction of the sector are all due to the exercise that we've carried out over the last 12 months, the first 12 months of our being in this office, in understanding what's going on. Second to that, we've taken quite a bit of time looking into the planning cycle and ensuring that our plans are solid and respond to the challenges that we found in the CETA. Some of them were strategic issues, some of them were issues of limitations of capacity and gaps of perhaps deployment of resources, and all of those are currently under our scrutiny and perhaps putting into place programs to begin to address those. We do have a plan. It may not be a perfect plan, but at least we do have a plan, and we have an indication of what we would like to achieve over the remaining period or duration of the board. Added to that, we've also looked very much into ensuring that we get the right people for the right positions, particularly at executive level. It has not always been as smooth as we intended. It has never worked out according to plan, but at least we're sitting now at a stage where we are believing we have a fully fledged executive complement that is going to be driving the programs that are put in place, and that we have confidence that they are going to be with us for a long haul, and that at least we will see much more pace in the implementation of the activities and operations of the CETA. Where we are now is at a stage where we can say and assure the sector that we are about implementation and constant monitoring and reporting on the programs, because we've done the understanding, the analysis and the understanding of the programs. We have done the planning. We have actually ensured the deployment of the resources in the right places, in the right quantities. It's now for the resources that are there to implement, and ours as an oversight structure is now to monitor and report to the stakeholder as well as the shareholder at critical levels and stages, regular as supposed and expected in law. Having said that, I must state that there are at least 3 critical areas of focus for us. One that has been repeatedly articulated is that of the financial performance of a clean audit. We are not compromising on that one. We want to be able to say at the next AGM, we have reason to celebrate. Hopefully, it will be, there will be no more COVID and there will be no restrictions. And we'll be able to meet a little bit more openly and be able to celebrate the first clean audit of the CETA. The second one is the one that is looking at ensuring that we improve service delivery on all fronts. Some of the questions that are emerging today are not the same as the issues that were raised at the last AGM, but there are still issues and areas of improvement. But it is indeed heartening and pleasing to recognize that the kind of frustration, anger, and displeasure that is being articulated is at least not the same as it was in the last AGM. We want to assure the stakeholders and everybody that is involved with and related to this sector that we will do. Our second target is that of seamless, smooth delivery of services at a faster and more quality standard pace than has ever been in the city. The third element that is crucial for this city and for this AA in particular is to ensure that we have a happy, satisfied, competent, pleased, fully serviced, working team and core of staff in the city, as well as in all our stakeholder environment. One of the major challenges we are faced with is that of the impact of the realignment exercise that we've been about as the accounting authority in our attempt to deal with the 10.5 and the 7.5. Those issues have had major destructive influences and impact and effects on the morale of our staff and that of the people that we serve. All we can say as the AA, we are aware of the displeasure. We are aware of the areas of also errors that have been made in judgment, and we are going to do everything we can in addressing those. There is a flicker of hope, and thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the Board. Without further ado, yes, I'm going to call upon Ms. Lesotho to come and give a vote of thanks and close. Ms. Lesotho, the stage is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Imana. Moholo are mujamora ke khosi. So that means that I can take as much time as I would want to. Good afternoon, Dima Siari, to the chairperson of the board, Nda, to CATHSSETA board members, our CATHSSETA subcommittees, CEOs and heads of departments joining us, and those joining us also on digital platforms. CATHSSETA CEO, Ntate Thibela, CATHSSETA Executive Management, our special guest, Mayor Matapelo Mujela, I'm not sure if she's still here, I think she has left, our training providers and employer groups that are here today, protocol observed. Our distinguished guests, on behalf of the CATHSSETA board, let me take this opportunity to thank you for joining us today and inviting us in your lovely homes, in your offices. There is so much to do, and we are trying to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic that affected not only our normal everyday or day-to-day living, but our livelihood too. These are indeed challenging times, but nonetheless, the economy of South Africa relies on all of us. If not us, we can ask a question and say, then who? If not now, we can ask another question and say, then when? I believe that the time is now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. There is no better time than the present. Speaking of the present, now is the time to really familiarize ourselves with the new tools of conducting business. Let us learn as much as we can so that we can keep up with the world under the new era of the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution represents a new era of innovation technology, one that's enhancing human-machine relationships, unlocking new market opportunities, and fueling growth across the global economy. I want to appeal to all of us today, we should not just talk about the fourth industrial revolution, but we must be about it, all of us. We must be about the fourth industrial revolution. Let us do what we do best in the space of skills development and training and implement some of the changes that come with the fourth industrial revolution. It is very scary and a very scary concept if some of us are like me that have been born before technology. But once we get the gist of this, once we get the hang of it, you will be the one, or we shall be the ones that have got to teach the youngsters. So let us not fight it. Let us embrace it. Let us love it. Let us be friendship with technology, and let us make friends with it. To our training providers who are conducting business under hard conditions, thank you for rendering your services, even though it was not easy. Some of you even went over your call of duty because you just don't provide skills development. And why, as an individual, I am proud to be South African. We are a nation that cares for one another. We share our bread also with those that we are neighboring with and those that are our neighbors. As the board of CATHSSETA, we are honored to be given this opportunity to work together with you in our mandate of skills development within our diverse sectors. Since our appointment as the board, we have been met with many challenges. And I think that the chairperson highlighted some of them. And we are still meeting with those challenges, and we are still faced with those challenges. But together we can make it. But we remain faithful as the board to the CATHSSETA's mandate. It is wonderful to hear about the CATHSSETA has impacted on the lives of young people and businesses within our scope. Thank you for being community leaders and mentors to the youth by sharing your wisdom and skills. Let us continue to support government initiatives in minimizing the spread of coronavirus by adhering to the COVID-19 regulations at our workplaces. In this way, I believe that more lives will be saved. Let us go in numbers and get vaccinated, one jab or two jabs at a time. As we are approaching the festive season, like some of us are looking to the festive season or towards the festive season, well, to some of us, it's already that jolly season. I know that we want to sit back and relax with our families, but let us do so with caution. Whatever we do, we must make sure that it does not in any way bring harm to us, our family and friends, those that we love the most. On this very important day, on this very auspicious day, I want to take this opportunity to thank all our stakeholders who have contributed immensely to all our learning programs. Your work is commendable. You've done a good job. To our stakeholders who raised their burning issues today, be rest assured that we heard your pleas and your recommendations, and we know that all your concerns come from the bottom of your hearts because of your passion for the youth of our country. We thank you for keeping us updated with developments taking place at organizations such as graduations and success. We thank you because it is your story that lets the world know that South Africa has great women and men who wake up every day to ensure that this country does not stand still but keeps on moving. We thank each and every one of you who together with CATHSSETA are committed to skills development. As I conclude, Chair, as we come to the end of the discussion at the end of the day, I would like to thank you, CEO, management team, and the staff for making sure that the ship sails under these very hard and challenging times. I do not know how you guys make it. Personally, and we always say that as a board. But I'm convinced as an individual, and I also think that I'm speaking on behalf of the board, that it is the leadership and the passion and spirit that keeps you people going, and that keeps the CEO going together with the board. Since your appointment on the 1st of December 2020, you have shown that leaders aren't born, they are made. And they are made just like anything else through hard work. I believe that you are also impacting your years of experience and wisdom to the CATHSSETA staff together with your management. Thank you once again for organizing this event together with your team. Thank you for your flexibility in accommodating the request from the board. As the chairperson always says, a sterling job done. As the chairperson always says, we need to give it our all as CATHSSETA, being the board, being the staff, and also being the CEO. I want to also thank all CATHSSETA board and subcommittees. Chairperson, we don't have to look down on ourselves. You have done a very good job. And for the fact that there have not been such questions that have been raised today, it means that this board, together with the CEO, together with management of CATHSSETA, are doing an excellent and a sterling job, as I want to echo the words of the chairperson of the board of CATHSSETA. Also, we want to thank the staff for availing themselves for this annual general meeting. To all of us who are here at Galaga Convention Center, let us have a safe and pleasant trip home. Some of us will be going to Matatiele, that is where we come from. To our staff members and stakeholders who joined us virtually, or who joined this annual general meeting virtually, thank you for attending. Please be safe. Please stay safe. The words of the President of the country, sanitize and sanitize and sanitize, and maintain social distancing. Ndolibuwa ngamanda.
Rolibuwa Makazi, Rolibuwa ngamanda. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. I would like to thank all of you for being such an amazing audience. You have made my job very easy. And CEO, thank you very much, CEO and the board secretariat, for trusting me with this job. I will get feedback from you when I get to the office. I understand that lunch is served next door, so we can just go out through the door to the right and there will be lunch there. To the audience that is on the virtual platform, thank you very much. You have also been a very good audience. And by, do they say that the power that is vested in me as the program director, I declare this meeting closed. It's adjourned. Thank you very much. There is a pair of glasses here. They either belong to our keynote speaker on gender-based violence or one of us, so we will give them to the board secretary. Thank you very much.